Okay, page 37. Now we are done with the teacher. Next is, what is next? After teacher, Sugata. Okay, Sugata, reference number 64. Third, how the wholesome action of teacher gives rise to the Sugata. Sugata literally means the one gone to bliss. Sugata, the one gone to bliss. The bliss of the peace of eradicating all the disturbance. Bliss of the peace of eradicating all the disturbance due to mental defilements. Sugata, one gone to bliss of favorable benefit for the self, has two parts. Okay, we talk about the favorable benefit of the self, favorable benefit for others, and maybe we can, varying translations can come, like perfection of benefit, perfection of benefit for the self, perfection of benefit for others, perfection of benefit. So here we speak of perfection benefit of self and others, but in actuality, it is the perfection benefit primarily for the self and primarily for the others. This is how we explain it. Anyway, for the Buddhists, there's no difference. It's just for others. But still, why we say that the Sugata is primarily for the self, the favorable benefit or the perfection benefit for the self. Why Sugata is related to the self? Why the protector is related to others? It's because the Sugata is related to the quality of the mind. Quality of the mind, Sugata, quality of the mind. And Sugata, or the one gone to bliss, or this is, okay, so this Sugata, the one gone to bliss, this Sugata is of two kinds. Sugata, a Sugata of cessation, and Sugata of realization. Two kinds. Sugata of cessation and Sugata of realizations. Two. In Tibetan, Devar Shakba, Deshik. Semor Gyurba Tola Penshaba Tumba Deshik. Tumba is the teacher. Deshik. Deshik. If you want to write in English, D-H-A-Y, D-H-A-Y, Deshik. S-H-A-Y-K, Deshik. D-H-A-Y, S-H-A-S-H-Y-A-K, Deshik. Deshik. Now, the Deshik or the Sugata is of two kinds. Sugata of the cessation and Sugata of the realization. What's the difference? Sugata is the one gone to bliss. One gone to bliss meaning where all the turbulence stops. So this is a mental quality. Mental quality. Within the mind, if you look at within the mind, we see two things. One is that the mind, okay, let's say your mind, when you reach to the level of the Sugata-hood, your mind, it has removed all the defilements. So, your mind is freed of the defilements. There's no freed, cessation, removed, cessation, freed mean the same. So cessation, the Sugata in the form of where your mind is freed of all the mental defilements. That state of the cessation, that state of the freedom from all the defilements is the cessation, quality of the cessation. Where now the afflictions, defilements, no more there. This is the state of the cessation. Because the defilements are not there, this space is occupied by the virtues. Defilements are removed, right? So ignorance is removed, wisdom is there. Anger is removed, compassion is there. So realizations, then this mind, earlier rich with defilements, now removing the defilements, it becomes rich with virtues, realizations. So the Sugata in the context of cessation, Sugata in the context of realizations. The realizations, they are the mind, and the cessation is not mind. The cessation is a permanent phenomenon. Cessation is a permanent phenomenon. And Sugata in the context of the cessation is a permanent phenomenon. Sugata in the context of the realization is a mental phenomenon, mind. Okay, since we are already introduced to the concept of entities and isolates, we already introduced to that, it'll become easy for you now. Otherwise, this concept itself, Sugata in the context of cessation, so, which is a permanent phenomenon, Sugata in the context of what? Realizations, which is a mental phenomena, people get confused. Right now for you, there's no confusion. Right? You're not confused. It's very easy for you. Okay, how it is easy? Let me explain this. I'll explain this. You will easily get it. It's very easy for you, because you already introduced the concept of the entities and isolates. Okay, now let's say that. Let's say that. Okay, first, let's say this is like the defilements, and this my hand is my mind, your mind, and this is defilement. So your mind has the defilement, right? Now what happens is that this defilement is a self-grasping ignorance. Let's say self-grasping ignorance. How to remove the self-grasping ignorance? By the wisdom of emptiness. You remove this and replace this with the wisdom of emptiness. You're getting it? Now the same mind that you have, same mind, is this free of the mental defilements? Is this free of the self-grasping ignorance? It is free, which means self-grasping ignorance is not there. So this mind has the absence of self-grasping ignorance. Last time we talked about the absence of tiger, absence of flower. We talked about that. Absent. Now this mind, your mind, when you achieve the Buddhahood or this state of Sugatahood, your mind is absent of defilements. You're getting it? So this absence of defilement, does it have a substance? Absence, does it have a substance? No. For example, absence of flower. Is there a flower? Huh? Some people, without looking at USB, they're thinking that now there's no flower there. No. There's a flower there, right? Is there a flower? Yes. Now is there a flower? No. Is there absence of flower? Yes. When we say there's a flower, there's a substance, there's a flower. When you say absence of flowers, there's no substance. You're getting it? What does not have a substance? Substance equals impermanent phenomena. Substance equals impermanent phenomena. What is substance? Is impermanent. Without a substance, there's no impermanence. Without substance, there's nothing there which undergoes change. If it does not undergo change, it is not impermanent. It exists, but not impermanent is permanent. So absence is permanent. So absence of defilement is also permanent. Absence of defilement, cessation of defilement, same. It's a matter of the language. Absence of defilement, your mind, when you become Buddha, your mind is absent of defilements. Your mind has the cessation of defilements. So that cessation, absence, this is permanent phenomena. Yet, tell me, your mind and this hand and absence of flower, are these two entities was one or different? Okay, I have the pain with my hand is always like this. Okay. Okay, let's say my hand and the absence of the hand, my absence of flower. My hand and the absence of my hand, is it absent of flower? Yes. So absence of flowers on my hand? Yes. Absence of flower and my hand, these two are same entity or different entities? Huh? Huh? Same entity. Very good. Okay. So how same entity? Where's the hand? Is right there. Correct, not correct? When our entity means we have to go to the object. When you go to object to point to, where's the hand? Is there. Correct, not correct? Where's the absence of the flower? Is there. Correct, not correct? We point to the same object for the reference of two labels. So these two are same entities. Right? Okay, now. Red flower. What is in my hand? Red flower. What about the white flower? No. Now I remove, this is self-grasping ignorance. Remove self-grasping ignorance by what? By wisdom of emptiness. So the self-grasping is removed, wisdom of emptiness came into being. Now this hand, which is your mind, this mind is freed of the self-grasping ignorance. So this mind has the absence of self-grasping ignorance. So the absence of self-grasping ignorance and your mind are these two same entity of different entities. Same entity. You're getting it? Same entity. So we see that the absence of this self-grasping ignorance in your mind, these two are same entity. So say this flower, let's say this flower, earlier it was black or the dark color. So now I changed the color and made it white. Right? Same flower, earlier it was dark. Earlier it was the dark color of the flower and the flower. These two entities was one are different. Dark color of the flower and the flower. These two entities was one are different. One. Now you keep the same flower by somehow changing the color. Like the same cloth, you dye it, change the color. Like this, you change the color, it's the same flower, now the color has changed, white. So now this flower is absent of the dark color. Now this flower is not dark color anymore. Okay, so the flower and the absence of the dark color of this flower are these two entities was one or different. One. So absence of dark color is the cessation of dark color. So this flower is like your mind, and the dark color is like the mental defilements. Mental defilements removed. Now this mind has the absence of the mental defilement. Absence of mental defilement and your mind, these two are same entity, different isolates. Right? Different isolates, same entity. Okay. Now meanwhile, there's absence of the dark color of the flower, but the presence of the white color is there. Presence of white color is there. White color of the flower is like the wisdom of emptiness. Wisdom of emptiness is like the white color of the flower, and your mind, which is the flower. White color of the flower and the flower, are these two one entity, two different entities? My question, I did not ask same. I said one or different. Be good listeners. Right? The white color of the flower, which is metaphor for not emptiness, the wisdom of emptiness. And the flower, metaphor for your mind. So now this flower and the wisdom of emptiness, the color of the flower, are these two entities by one or different? Entities one. Now look, there are three things. Absence of the defilement, the flower, in the first flower, absence of defilement, absence of the white color, absence of black color, and the presence of the white color. There are three things. All three are entity-wise one. Where's the flower? Is here. Where's the absence of the black color? Is here. Where's the white color? Is here. All these three are entity-wise one. You're getting it? Yet, some of them are permanent, some of them are impermanent. Absence of the black color of the flower, is that permanent or impermanent? Huh? Absence of black color of the flower, is that permanent or impermanent? Impermanent. Permanent. How is permanent? Because it's absence. It's absence. Absence does not have a substance. Why absence should be permanent? Because absence does not have a substance to undergo change. What exists without change is known as permanent. What exists with change is known as impermanent. So with the same object, absence of the black color, it is permanent. What the white color is permanent, impermanent. White color is impermanent. Flower, impermanent. Of the three things, we see that one is permanent, two things are impermanent. Likewise, the flower is your mind. The absence of the black color is your absence of the mental defilements, absence of the self-grasping ignorance. And the white color is what? The wisdom of emptiness. So the flower is your mind. Absence of the black color is the cessation of the mental defilements. Cessation of self-grasping ignorance. And the white color is the wisdom of emptiness. So with the same object, entity-wise, there are three things being entity-wise one. Your mind, the cessation of the self-grasping ignorance, and the wisdom of emptiness. Three things are there. Of these three things, are they anti-device, one or different? One. Okay, good. Of these three things, which are permanent, which are impermanent? Which are permanent? A cessation of absence, or the cessation of the mental defilements, or the cessation of self-grasping ignorance is permanent, and the other two are impermanent. Very good, you got it. Okay, so we see that the we are talking about the favorable benefit for oneself. So, say the Sugata is this experience, this quality of achievement after remove all the mental defilements. This achievement can be seen in two ways. Your mind has achieved something. Achieved what? Achieved the cessation of mental defilements and achieved the perfection of the wisdom. You achieve these two qualities. These two qualities guarantee that you are not in samsara, that you are not in suffering. So these two qualities are the Sugatas. These two qualities make you experience the bliss. Which two qualities? Cessation of mental defilements and the wisdom of emptiness, realizations. Wisdom of emptiness is the realization of the realization of emptiness. So realization of emptiness is impermanent because it's a mind. Cessation of the mental defilements is permanent because it's absence. You're getting it? Okay. So of the two Sugatas, what are the two Sugatas? Sugata of the cessation and Sugata of the realizations. You're getting it? So, okay, wisdom of emptiness. Wisdom of emptiness is a permanent or impermanent? Wisdom of emptiness. How it is impermanent? Because it's a mind. Mind should always be impermanent. Okay, so one Sugata is in the form of with the aspect of impermanence. Other Sugata is in the form of a permanence. You're getting it? And both are mental qualities. Mental qualities of the Buddha. So Sugata, how many kinds are there? Two. What are the two Sugatas? Sugata in the form of cessation and the Sugata in the form of realization. Very good. Okay. Now, in the forward order, what we have studied thus far, in the forward order of the 4 points to establish the reliable guide, the Sugata there, in this context, the Sugata is the Sugata in the context of the cessation. Sugata in the form of cessation is what is emphasized in the forward order of explaining the 4 points to establish the reliable guide. Whereas in the reverse order, Sugata in the form of realization is going to be emphasized. Okay. Now, since that both these sugatas, they are the mental qualities of the Buddha. These are not directly accessible to the sentient beings. So therefore, it is directly accessible to the Buddha himself or herself. So therefore, this is known as the sugata, whether it's the cessation or the realization, is referred to as the favorable benefit for the self, the Buddha himself, or perfection of the benefit for the self. Whereas the Buddha's bodies in the form of Nirmanakaya, Sambhogakaya, when the physical manifestation comes into being, physical body, so that is directly accessible to the sentient beings. So this is through the body that the beings are directly benefited. So the two form bodies of the Buddha, two Rupakayas or form bodies of Buddha, what are they? Sambhogakaya and Nirmanakaya. In English, Sambhogakaya is enjoyment body of the Buddha, and the Nirmanakaya is emanation body of the Buddha. These two are the benefits primarily for others, because These two are something which are directly accessible to the sentient beings. Whereas the Sugata is something which is directly accessible only to the Buddhas, not to the sentient beings. Okay. It's for this reason that the Sugata is referred to as the favorable benefit for the oneself, for the Buddha himself or herself, and the Sugata, and then next one is what? After Sugata is protector. Protector, the Buddha goes out to give teachings to protect the beings. So that's protector. Protector in Tibetan is Kyopa. Kyopa. Protector. So this protector, Kyopa, Kyopa. Kyopa, Kyopa. Kyopa is primary meaning. It is because it is directly accessible to sentient beings. So it is referred to as the favorable benefit for others. Okay. So reference number 64. Reference number 64. How the wholesome action of teacher gives rise to the Sugata. Okay, so this is how the first point, which is the altruistic intention, compassion, that gives rise to the teacher. Now, how the teacher gives rise to the Sugata. Then later on, we'll learn how the Sugata gives rise to the protector. And through this, then you deduce, from protector, you deduce that the one who is transformed, Prince Siddhartha, transformed in Buddha Shakyamuni, is indeed the reliable guide. The main thesis is going to be established. Okay, under this section, there are 2 points. Number 1, indicating the cessation with 3 qualities. Cessation, Sugata of the cessation. Sugata of realization is going to be explained when? Reverse order, when establishing the reliable guide on the basis of the 4 points in the reverse order. Establishing the reliable guide on the basis of the 4 points in the reverse order. So there, the cessation is going to be explained in the form of not cessation. Sugata is going to be explained in the form of Sugata in the form of realization. Okay. Indicating the cessation with 3 qualities as Sugata in the cessation context. Okay. Then number 2, rejecting the qualm that faults cannot be eliminated for good. So cessation means cessation of all the faults, cessation of all the mental defilements. And some of you may have a question, why does Sugata of cessation explained here, not the realization here? The question came to you or not? Huh? This question came to you or not? No? Never mind. Okay, so the question would be, why of the 2 Sugatas is it just randomly picked up? Or there's a reason that Sugata of the cessation is taught here and not the Sugata of the realization? Where Sugata of realization, the reverse order, why? Why not the opposite? Right? Why the Sugata of cessation here? It's because say the whole purpose is what? How we started this journey. How the Buddha Shakyamuni started, Prince Siddhartha started the journey. Oh, the sentient beings are so much suffering, just as I have. Right? I have to get rid of the suffering. So, with compassion, then looking for the path to eradicate the suffering. Looking for the path to eradicate suffering. Eradication, cessation, same. You understand it? To eradicate the afflictions, to eradicate the mental defilements, and the cessation mental defilements, same. To cease the mental defilements, to eradicate the mental defilements, same. Eradication and cessation, same. So the whole purpose is to eradicate the mental defilements, eradicate the miseries. This is how it started. The forward order. Forward order is this. Then the reverse order is going to be very different. This I'll quickly share with you later. Forward order, to remove the miseries. How to remove the miseries? By removing the mental defilements. To remove, to cease. Removal, cessation, same. So with this, then how to remove this? By introducing the wisdom of emptiness. So he experimented that on himself to see if the removal is happening. Then he experimented on himself. Then he realized that, yes, all my defilements, they're already removed. Cessation happens. With the cessation, then he becomes so confident. He becomes so confident that I can teach others how to stop the mental defilements, how to stop the suffering. You're getting it? So the cessation, Sugata of the cessation is emphasized here. Whereas, what's the second question? Yes, didn't you say it again, louder? Which reverse order? Which reverse order? Okay, somebody. I need somebody. I told you very clearly from the A to Z. Now you don't only give me 2 points. What reverse order, right?
The first one is the one we've been doing, right? The forward order.
What is that first
motivation,
one?
Motivation or altruism towards sentient beings, teacher, Sugata, protector.
Why do you call that? Why do you call that the forward order? Why do you call that forward order? Huh?
In the salutation?
It is salutation what? The forward order, the way Acharya Dignaga presented in the word of salutation to the Buddha, right?
Yes.
Forward order, not some kind of the rules there. It's just a forward order with respect to the way.
Yes.
Way. Don't say causal. Causal means it'll put you into a problem. Forward order, the way Acharya Dignaga presented the 4 points. Forward order with respect to the manner in which Acharya Dignaga presented 4 points to establish in the word of salutation, to establish the reliable guide. Right? Now the reverse order means reverse order with respect to the way Acharya Dignaga presented the 4 points in the word of salutation to establish the reliable guide. So, what is the manner in which Acharya Dharmakirti, Acharya Chandrakirti, Acharya Dignaga presented 4 points. Okay, so look, this is my imprints coming out. Impulsive imprints. What came out? First, Acharya Dharmakirti came out because this is a text. We are so habituated. Then next came Acharya Chandrakirti because recently I was teaching Acharya Chandrakirti text all the time, right? Okay, this is how the imprints are working. Okay, and then it means that I'm tired. If I'm not tired, I'll be very actively there. Okay, so the point is that the way Acharya Dignaga presented the 4 points, the compassion, teacher, Sugata, protector, this is how he presented. How he presented, we call it forward order. And then reverse of how he presented is known as the reverse order. This is the meaning. Okay, very good. Now with the reverse, how we start? Protector. First we protector. Protector means, so the protector, what is the context? What's the context? For example, say if you could remember how we started this. Say forward order, how we started this. Say, we are in a problem. We are in a problem, and then we're looking for how to get rid of this problem. Then somebody said that, look at Prince Siddhartha. He was also in the same problem as you are. So from there we started. So that is the forward order. You're getting it? So how did I create the scenario for the reverse order? Do you remember? I just put that in the context, I just create some kind of, say what do you call it, some anecdote. I shared one anecdote with you, huh? Mahakashyap. Very good. Thank you. Okay, Mahakashyap. So Mahakashyap, he himself was a great teacher. Great teacher. And then he was so fascinated that, all these students, particularly the brilliant ones, they're all going to, the Gautama. He would not say Buddha Shakyamuni. He would say Gautama in those days, before he became the student. He himself was a great teacher. They were all going to Gautama. And they seem to be changed a lot. They are really benefited a lot. So he's really protecting them, giving the protection, right? How was he able to protect them? They are very brilliant. They would not accept, him very easily. So how was he able to protect them? How? Because he was giving wonderful teachings on the Four Noble Truths and so forth. Through his own experience, what he was teaching was not taught by the earlier teachers, right? What he was teaching is something so unique. Okay, so teaching comes from when you say a word, harsh words, is coming from the anger inside. When a very tender words come out, it's coming from the compassion inside. Wisdom and emptiness comes out, which no teacher said before. It's coming from the wisdom and emptiness inside. You're getting it? So what he taught reflects his realization. What he taught, what is his teaching, reflects. Today, I'm talking about emptiness. It does not reflect my emptiness inside because I'm mimicking other teachers. Whereas Buddha Shakyamuni, what he was teaching was not mimicking. There was no one from whom to mimic. So what he was teaching was very original. Very original. Whereas people like me and people like who teach about, transcend everything, most of them are mimicking other teachers, right? But the way I'm mimicking is not really bad. It's the great teachers mimicking, right? So what I'm saying is that we are all mimicking. Whereas Buddha Shakyamuni, this Prince Siddhartha Gautama, when he was saying something very original, which nobody taught before, which nobody's talking now, right? What is said is so original. So that is coming from inside, right? What he taught is the wisdom of emptiness, right? So this wisdom, emptiness, his knowledge should be inside. Knowledge, what is that knowledge? Wisdom of emptiness must be inside. He has the experience. You're getting it? That is a realization. That is a Sugata in the form of realization. That is coming from that is explained, that has to be explained when we explain the reliable guide on the reverse order of the 4 points. You're getting it? Oh, you're good. Reference number 64, point number 1, indicating the cessation with 3 qualities of Sugata in the cessation context. The Sugata in the context of the cessation. This cessation should have 3 qualities. Otherwise, cessation, there are so many kinds of cessation. There are so many kinds of cessation. But the Buddha cessation, the Sugata in the form of cessation, is a very unique cessation. Cessation with 3 qualities. There are many other cessations, they don't qualify all 3. Only the Buddha cessation qualifies the 3 qualities. What are the 3 qualities? Okay, number 2, rejecting the qualm that faults cannot be eliminated for good. Saying that, okay, you are talking about the Buddha cessation. Buddha cessation of mental defilements. But the mental defilements cannot be ceased altogether. Right? Mental defilements cannot be ceased altogether. So therefore, the Buddha does not have the cessation or Sugata of cessation. This is what the opponents come. So Acharya Dharmakirti is rejecting that. Rejecting the qualm that the faults cannot be eliminated for good. And next, reference number 65. First, indicating the cessation with 3 qualities as Sugata in the cessation context, in the context of cessation. The cessation Sugata. 139a, the cessation of the causes with 3 qualities. Cessation of the causes meaning the causes of samsara, causes of the sentient being, which is afflictive obscurations and the content of obscurations. Causes here refer to the afflictive obscurations and the content of obscurations. Cessation of the causes, that cessation with 3 qualities is indeed the Sugata. Only if a particular cessation of the causes of the problems, that cessation, if endowed with 3 qualities, that becomes the Sugata. Not all cessation becomes Sugata. Only the cessation with 3 qualities is referred to as Sugata. Okay, next page. Okay, what are the 3 qualities? So now the 3 qualities are going to be explained. The first cessation, the first quality is well ceased. Well ceased, number 1. Then number 2, is cessation where the defilements do not relapse. Cessation of the defilements where the defilements do not relapse. Number 2. Number 3, the cessation of all defilements, cessation of all flaws, cessation of all defilements. 3. 1, well ceased. Number 2, cessation without relapse. Number 3, cessation of all. These are the 3 qualities. So what are these 3 things, one by one? So we're going to study one by one. Okay, let's read. Let's see. Reference number 66. The 3 qualities of Sugata in the form of cessation are well ceased, which means not tainted with miseries. I'll explain this later. Cessation free of relapsing to samsara. Cessation which does not relapse to samsara or the defilements. Number 3, cessation of all defilements and the imprints. The first one, well ceased. Well ceased meaning that the same cessation. Finally, why are we seeking the cessation? We are seeking the cessation to get rid of the suffering. And if the cessation is mixed with suffering, if the cessation, we are looking for gold, if the gold is mixed with the soil, then the purpose is not fully accomplished. When we're looking for gold, we're looking for, if possible, go for the pure gold, not mixed with soil. Likewise, the cessation, if mixed with suffering, then the whole purpose of seeking cessation is defeated. So cessation should not be mixed with the suffering. But there are some cessations which are mixed with suffering. There are cessations which are mixed with suffering. For example, let's say that okay, we talked about the desire realm, formless realm, the 3 realms. And to take birth in desire realm, we don't have to put really effort. Within desire realm, then the higher realms, human realm, then the god realm, and the asuras. So these 3 realms, we have to put little effort, virtues and so forth. Then to take birth in the form and the formless, we really have to put effort. Until you have reached a very refined level of meditative concentration, jhanas, meditative concentration referred to as the jhanas in the Sanskrit and Pali, jhanas, meditative concentration, very powerful meditative concentration. You cannot achieve these, you cannot take birth there in the form and formless. So now, how to achieve this, the very powerful meditative concentration to get to the form realm? For that, you have to get rid of the mental defilements of the desire realm. Only if you remove the mental defilements of desire realm, you can go to the form realm. You can take birth in form realm. So for that, to remove the mental defilements of the desire realm, it is not necessary that you should have the wisdom of emptiness. Even without the wisdom of emptiness, even before the Buddha Shakyamuni came on this earth, which means no wisdom of emptiness, still there are many beings who take birth there in the form and formless realms. So they have the cessation of the defilements of the desire realm. But that cessation, because it is not the cessation brought by the wisdom of emptiness, that cessation is still mixed with the living in the world of the dream, created by self-grasping. That cessation is mixed with the suffering of the desire realm. That cessation mixed with the suffering of the desire realm. So therefore, that cessation is not well ceased. It is not well ceased because it is still mixed with the suffering of the higher realms. 1. Well ceased means a cessation which is freed of the suffering, which is not tainted by suffering. Okay, now can you give an example of the cessation which is not tainted by the suffering? Well ceased. Can you give an example of well ceased? Cessation of well ceased? Moi?
The realization aspect of
Mike.
the quality of realization in Sugata.
Okay, Sugata. So this is, of course, we learned it, right? Any other examples? Yes. Here, they came.
Cessation of all the mental, mental defilements in referring to the afflictive obscurations and the cognitive obscurations.
Okay, cessation of all the mental defilements of cognitive obscuration and afflictive obscuration. Very good. This is the Sugata. Anybody else? Some unique examples.
Cessation in the mind of the Arahats.
Cessation
In the mind of the Arahats.
in the minds of the Arahats. Very good. Not necessarily Buddhas. You getting it? The first quality of the cessation may not necessarily only with the Sugatas. Even the Arahats have that. Because the Arahats, they are freed from, say, the Arahats. They cessation, for example, let's say, if somebody in his pocket, there is medicines and also some poisons, medicine packets, poison packets, all are mixed there, right? Okay, that medicine is that mixed? That medicine per se inside the medicine, is it mixed with the poison? No, that particular medicine is not mixed with the poison. Inside, there's no mixture. It's a pure medicine. So poison is outside the medicine. You're getting it? So likewise, say the Arhats, then the Aryas, even the Aryas.
Can I check whether the path of seeing?
Okay, path of seeing, very good. This is what I'm saying. Arya meaning someone who has achieved the path of seeing. Path of seeing, path of meditation, path of normal learning. Bodhisattvas, Shravakas, Pratik Buddhas who achieve the path of seeing, and say path of seeing, they abandon. Path of seeing, they abandon. Not all path of seeing of the release. Okay, I don't want to go into complication. Path of seeing, at that point, they remove the defilements to be abandoned by the path of seeing. Not all defilements. For example, okay, acquired. Okay, let us not complicate this. Okay, say the mental defilements, there are two kinds. One to be abandoned by the path of seeing, one other to be abandoned by the path of meditation. Mental defilements, there are two. One which is gross, which is to be abandoned by the path of seeing. One which is subtle, to be abandoned by the path of meditation. Two. Now, how do you distinguish gross and the subtle? Okay, Pavanil already indicated this. So if I don't say this, people may think that he's hiding something. Okay, so what is the gross, which is to be abandoned by the path of seeing? What is the subtle, which is to be abandoned by the path of meditation? The gross and subtle is distinguished on the basis of what is acquired and what is innate. What is acquired and what is innate. Okay, what is acquired and what is innate? Like, okay, let's say that, let's say that somebody said that, okay, this is a person who was so unkind to your parents. Before, you see person A, it's normal. But then after somebody said that he's the one who is creating so much of problem on your parents, okay, when you meet him next, would you love him or not? You would not like him, right? We don't know whether what the other person told you is true or not. Still, there's disliking coming to you. This disliking, is it something that was disliking towards this person A? Was it with you day one you were born? It was not there. It's acquired later. Day one you were born, what have you brought from the past life? Anger towards that person A? No, what have you brought? Huh? Oh, self-grasping we brought from the past life, right? And then attachment, anger, jealousy, right? And then day one we were born, we all cried. How many of you did not cry? Day one we were born. Jesse, CJ, you cried? Okay. Okay. Oh, Brother Peck, you cried? James? James? Cried? Okay, most likely we cried. If you don't cry, somebody will slap you. Why? Slap you in order for you to what? Breathe. Respiration to happen. Right? Okay, we cried. Why did you cry? Did you cry? Did you cry that, oh, the other baby is not getting milk, please feed the other baby? Did you cry like this? Or I'm slapped, I have a pain there, I'm hungry, I'm feeling cold. It's all about I. This is what we inherited from the past life. This is innate. What you don't have to learn, which we brought from the past life, this is known as innate afflictions. And then later on, through reasoning, through listening to somebody, Mr. A is somebody who harmed your parents. Then you start becoming angry towards Mr. A. That is acquired, that's not innate. Which is more difficult to remove, acquired or innate? Innate is more difficult. So the innate ones are eradicated by the path of meditation. Acquired ones are eradicated by the path of seeing. You're getting it? Okay. So now, why did I say this? Okay, well seized. So part of seeing, with the part of seeing, there's a cessation. Cessation of the acquired defilements. Cessation of the acquired defilements. So that is very pure. Although this person still has suffering because it's not yet Arhat, still has suffering, but that cessation per se is very pure, like the medicine, poison, they're mixed. But the medicine inside that, there's no poison there. It's pure medicine. Likewise, although there's a mixture, so this cessation is there in the part of seeing, and the afflictions also there, the innate afflictions are there, the mixture there, but this, like the medicine inside, is so pure. Like this, likewise, the cessation of the acquired afflictions, that cessation inside that is so pure. That is known as well seized. Whereas, without the wisdom of emptiness, they are not well seized. They are the mixture of the self-grasping ignorance, mixture of the stains. Okay, so what are those cessations which are not well seized? Can you give me some examples? Cessations which does not fulfill the first criteria, well seized. Okay, let us listen to Moy.
Inferential cognition of wisdom realizing emptiness.
Or inferential cognition. Wisdom which is the inferential cognition of the emptiness. Wisdom which is the inferential cognition. Wisdom in the nature of inferential cognition, cognizing emptiness. Okay. Is that cessation or realization? Wisdom in the form of inferential cognition, or inferential cognition in the form of wisdom of emptiness, is that realization or the cessation? It's a realization, it's not a cessation. We are asking for the cessation which does not fulfill the first criteria. Can you give an example? Anyone? Okay, which one? Yes.
This cessation of the suffering of change for the formless realm beings.
Okay, very good. In the form and formless realm, okay, let's see. Let's pick one. Cessation of the suffering. Let's say cessation of suffering. Cessation of suffering. In the formless realm, there is no the suffering. in the form and formless realm, there's no suffering. So they have the cessation of temporary, not full cessation, temporary cessation of suffering. Okay, is that well ceased or not well ceased? It's not well ceased. Why not? It is mixed with, it is tainted with self-grasping ignorance. It is tainted with suffering. Self-grasping ignorance itself is the pervasive condition suffering. So it's mixed with the self-grasping ignorance. So this is not well ceased. Very good. Okay. Now number 2. What is number 2? What is this quality number 2? Okay, the mic. Pavanila.
Does that mean if it's tainted with miseries, they are involuntary back into samsara? They can come back into samsara?
So who?
The form and formless realm, those who have...
Formless realm without they are already in samsara. They don't come back.
Samsara. Okay.
They are already in samsara. Right? Okay. What is the second now? What is the second quality of this state, the Sugata cessation? Zoe, say it. No, through Mike.
Cessation free of relapsing to samsara.
Very good. Cessation which does not relapse to the samsara, which does not relapse to samsara, which doesn't relapse to samsara. What is that? Okay. That's number 2. For example, let's say the arhats, samsara. Samsara, there is the real samsara and the residue of the samsara. So arhats, they left the samsara, but they still have the residue of samsara. Arhats, they left the samsara. They are freed from samsara, but they still have the residue of the samsara. It does not affect them. So therefore it is known as nirvana with residue. Okay, arhats, will they come back to samsara again after death? They will never come back to samsara. You're getting it? They will never come back. So the cessation of arhats, they fulfill the second criteria also. That is, that they will not come back to samsara. Whereas the cessation of the path of seeing, the cessation of the path of meditation, these two cessations, the beings, the practitioners who achieve these two cessations, unless they achieve arhatship, they will have to come back to samsara. So it's not about the cessation per se, it's about the person who has the cessation. Person who has the cessation should come back to samsara after death. Come back. This is known as the cessation which does not really fulfill, which does not help the person to be free from samsara. So that is the flaw of a cessation, whereas the Buddha cessation is something which will not relapse to samsara anymore. Number 2. So number 2 is what? Cessation. We are talking about the cessation and the possessor of the cessation. Possessor of the cessation, when comes back to samsara, means that cessation does not have the second quality. That cessation cannot make the possessor of the cessation to go out of samsara. So therefore it does not fulfill the second quality. What is the third one? Cessation of all. Cessation of all. I say all meaning cessation not only of the afflictive obscurations, but also the cognitive obscurations. Cessation of all defilements, all flaws. This exists where? With whom? Only with the Buddhas. Okay. Now, the first quality distinguishes the Buddha's, the first quality distinguishes the Buddha's cessation from the cessation of the beings who do not have the realization of the emptiness. The first quality, first attribute distinguishes the Buddha's cessation, Sugata, from the cessation of the beings who do not have the wisdom of emptiness. In other words, cessation of the non-Buddhist practitioners. There were many, before the Buddha, there were so many practitioners who took birth in the form and formless realm. They don't have the wisdom of emptiness. They are not following the Buddha's teachings. So their cessation does not qualify the first quality. So therefore, the first quality distinguishes Buddha's cessation from the cessation of that of the non-Buddhist practitioners. The second cessation distinguishes the Buddha's cessation from the cessation of the learner practitioners. Normal learner. Learner meaning those in the path of, say, those who are before the path of normal learning. The second cessation quality distinguishes the Buddha's Sugata, Buddha's cessation, from the cessation of the learner practitioners. Those who are yet to achieve the normal learning. Mike?
Bodhisattva Bhumi 10.
Okay, let's say Shravakas and Pradika Buddhas who are yet to achieve Arahatship, number one. Bodhisattvas who are yet to achieve 8th Bhumi. Bodhisattvas who are yet to achieve 8th Bhumi. In other words, all the beings who are yet to achieve Arahatship. Bodhisattvas, they achieve Arahatship when they reach the 8th Bhumi. They don't wait till 10th Bhumi. 8th Bhumi. Before 8th Bhumi, their cessation does not qualify the second one. Now the third one. Third quality distinguishes the Buddha's cessation or the Sugata of the Buddha from the cessation of the Arahats. From the lower Arahats. Lower Arahats meaning Arahat of the Shrava. Okay, the Arahats, non-Buddha Arahats, including the Bodhisattva on the Bhumi 8, 9, 10. Shravaka Arahats, Pradika Buddha Arahats, Bodhisattvas on the Bhumi 8, 9, 10. Okay. Okay, now we have 2 sessions. We have 2 sessions, right? 2 more sessions. 2 sessions. Soul offering we'll do in the second session. Okay, so we still have few materials left. And we have question answers. Maybe what we can do is that we can come at 2:30. Is it fine? Okay. Okay, what we can do is that what we can do is, okay, in one session we can complete the remaining part. So the afternoon session 1 we'll complete the text. Then the session 2 we will do the soul offering. Okay, how many you are leaving? How many you are leaving before? How many you cannot leave? Stay for the evening session. The Vinita ji, anyone else? Okay, the Olivia. One session we can easily finish this text, and then we have the soul offering, question answer. Okay, but we do one thing. The same afternoon session, the first session we will complete the text, second session we will do the Q&A, third session we will do the soul offering. Right? Yeah, we'll decide. Okay, then no need. What I thought was the soul offering during the second session. So this was the original plan. So now we can come at 3. Yeah. Okay.